I know what you're thinking. You're like, Chris, why are you wearing a jacket and recording a video? And the reason is, the weather decided to play winter today, even though it's like late July, and my heating was off. So today it's super exciting because there's a new League of Legends cinematic that just came out called King of the Stained Blade. How sick is that? And we're gonna react to it because this is what we do, guys. In part 1, we react to the awesome cinematics, and in part 2, we dive in to have an awesome discussion about filmmaking techniques used, why things have the impact that they have, as well as potential visual effects that we can pull from them. Now, today's episode is brought to you guys by the awesome Exter products. If you love minimalism, as well as that cool vintage look to your wallets and accessories, then Exter is an amazing place to be. They have a great array of products that all have that cool minimal design as well as utility, and that really high quality leather touch, smell and feel that just makes it be something special. They being awesome, they give you guys a 25% off if you use my special link in the description below. That will automatically apply the discount to you once you click it, which is pretty sick. Now, if you want something for yourself, I've been using their wallets for quite some time now. I mostly use them for my business side of things and cards and things like that, and they've just been sick. So if you want something for yourself or something as a gift, I really highly recommend them, guys. They're really cool and really awesome. The other cool thing that they have is that they have a tracker for your wallet, and you can either call your phone if you have your wallet but not your phone, or vice versa, and always know where your stuff are. And the other cool thing is that they have a wireless battery bank, which means if you're in your car or you have your backpack, you could just take this, put it on top of your phone, and call it a day, because it's gonna charge with no cables needed, which was pretty sick as well. So like I said, guys, a big thank you to Exter for sponsoring another episode and bringing to you guys a massive discount when it comes to their things. So check it out in the link in the description. And with that said, let's fire up YouTube and let's get started in the new League of Legends cinematic. So I have it pulled up here full screen. It looks sick, it jumps right into it, and it looks like animation, and it's long. I really hope it's long and it's not like it's all cinematic and no gameplay. I love gameplay, but you know what I mean. So 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, it's like anime style. It's not like CGI. Here we go. Dual blade.
Answer for what you have done. Yone, turn back. You have dishonored us. You swore to protect him.
Classic.
You swore to protect Ionia. Look around you, brother. Your honor stains the ground. Better than living without it.
Oh, he has dual as well. Oh, he broke it. Slow motion. Oh, that's sick. Oh, that was sick. Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, brother. I will not fail you again.
That is sick. Whoa, what just happened, man? The whole animation became like CGI. Whoa. What just happened, man? There was a change in style now. Now it's like CGI anime style.
Apologies, Opa.
Wait, we know him. We saw him in the other. Oh, what is his name? He did the tornado thing.
Spirits wait for no one.
No, I'm not.
Looking to commune? Why else would the great
Starts with a
Yahoo
Y.
come? But are you ready?
Does that matter? I'll never make it up there in time.
True, the road is long. Perhaps my own temple can still provide a way. The choice is yours.
What is going on?
Is it?
Not here though. Sweet.
It's taken years for the spirit blossoms to return. If the land is ready to heal, perhaps you are as well.
Interesting.
And this is the way?
Is it the way? Is he tricking
Old
him?
men, flowers, and hope.
Maybe hope is enough.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Immerse yourself in the river Whaley.
That's so pretty, man.
Waters cleanse you.
What? What is going on?
Let the currents take
This
this
is some-
burden you carry.
Final Fantasy VII Stream of Life.
Who you have lost.
Oh.
Go, Yone! I was winning! Did you see me take out that big one?
I saw you dishonor yourself.
You fight?
When I have to, not when I want to.
You don't have anything to prove.
Oh my.
There is always another fight, Yasuo.
Oh.
Finding it proves nothing.
That is so beautiful, man. Ooh. The pacing is so good, man.
Place is here. With Elder Suma. He trained me for this. I can help end this war. Your duty is to this school. To your master. To Ionia. Then I should be out there protecting her. I won't fail you, Yone.
Yone.
It seems I have already failed you.
Ooh. So interesting though, when it's flashbacks, the animation
Drink this.
changes.
It will help forge
It's like
a bond between
old animation when it's the past. That is very interesting.
A drink rarely gets me out of trouble.
Sometimes we must go looking for our demons.
Okay. Whoa!
And sometimes
Oh shit! Oh! Oh! I knew it. What? What?
Show yourself.
Is it the spirit of the brother? Suke!
I'm not here for you.
Oh, it's so fluid! Oh, this is sick.
killing me does nothing, Hunter. If he lives,
Chop off his head, come on. Yep. Oh, oh. It is him, yeah, okay, I was right. Oh, it's so sick.
what a disappointment. And your honor from you.
Better than living without it. Yone.
Oh, he did got him. Oh. Ooh.
No murderer. Then why? you running?
Boom! Guy!
I'm done running.
Ooh, duel! Ah, he's so cool, man. Someone went overdrive.
Have your revenge, brother. You might deserve death, but not by my hand. Then there is nothing left for me in Ionia.
Aww.
Even the wind has a path, brother.
Even the wind has a path. I sick. Okay, he controls the wind.
Farewell, Ione.
Yone. Is it farewell though?
May the spirit of Ionia guide you.
That was so sick! Oh, there's more. Yes.
It's easier looking back, isn't it? The trick is seeing what lies ahead.
Ooh, who's she?
From what I hear, most likely thieves, beasts, and drink.
It is a lawless place
We're women.
where you can decide your own fate. Besides, we're both looking for something, aren't we?
And you think we'll find it in Bilgewater?
I think we'll find many things.
Uh-huh. Who's she, guys? Let me know. The moon. Sick. A little tease. Okay, so the new character is his brother, I'm guessing. Spirit Blossom. Sick! Damn, boy. That was awesome! Okay, guys. Now we're gonna jump to part 2 and kind of like go through it again and discuss some things, because that was so interesting. I've never seen them breaking the art style within the same cinematic for a reason. So I was really sick. Let me guys know what you thought, if you're excited for the new character. I mean, he looks badass AF, if I may say. And I'm always like, I'm a big fan of dual wield. Like, I don't know, it was pretty sick. And like, one sword was red, the other one was normal. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, let's go back, guys. And by the way, guys, make sure you follow me on Instagram, because I'm a huge fan of games and anime, and I am working on something really cool. So make sure you guys check out Insta and join me there as well. And let's go back to the beginning and take it step by step. So 1, 2, 3, go. So we have the opening shot, but it goes in so quickly, man. Like, even the little like tagline of like, you know, what the rating is just like drop in the bottom there. So that's cool. So we open up with a nice little fluid like shot from the sky that is very like, you know, it's like sunset sets, and we have those nice cool vibrant colors, and we are introduced to the art style of the cinematic, which is not CGI, is very animated style and looks more like hand drawn versus what comes next. And the character is gonna go straight through, and we'll get back in the action. That was so sick. I love these kind of things. Like how you film action makes such an impact. So now we see the character charging, and then we move on to like a first kind of view basis, and the character is approaching the other one, but from a first view perspective. I did kind of the same shot in the God of War Rise of the Sun when I charged the scythe and released the magic energy to change the forest and the colors and everything, and to we went from me charging and making the move like this one to the perspective of the magic force wave coming into the other character and then him breaking it. And it's kind of the same move, and it just puts you like you're trying to convey the sense of speed and power approaching the other character as we are that force and power, and we go straight on. And then upon impact, we cut to the next shot. And now we have the soundtrack coming in, and then we have the, after like they gave us something to be pumped about, like, ooh, it's going down. Now they're taking a beat to have a bit of conversation and then get back to it.
Sir, for what you have done. Yone, turn back.
So we now understand that these two know each other. They kind of care about each other because it's not just hatred, kind of like trying to destroy a villain, let's say, that there's actual connection there and past that connects the two. We have a very cool segmentation here, just like making sure that the audience knows the perspective and the area and what they are in relations to position between each other. And then they're gonna cut back to more close-ups and having the actual interaction. Things we've talked about in past episodes of Filmmaker Reacts, from like composition to rule of 180 and having the
You
conversation.
have dishonored us. You swore to protect him. You
Now the rain really
swore to
starts.
protect Ionia.
And rain usually is used to over-dramatize something. For example, they've used it in the classic scene from The Matrix, in the final battle. They've also used it in John Wick, if you guys remember him fighting in the rain. And just having characters fight in the rain, because the rain is kind of like a storm element. Like, but rain by itself is kind of like a dramatic kind of like force of power when it comes to something. Pairing that with an amazing epic fight, and then you just have filmmaking magic, basically.
Look around you, brother. Your honor stains the ground.
Very dramatic.
Living without it.
We have an interesting ratio. This is called like the anamorphic kind of like cinematic ratio, when you segment the image to a different ratio than the classic 16:9, and that basically for most people is having these black bars up and down. The reason filmmakers started doing this is to extend the horizontal view and keep the height kind of like minimal. Basically, if you guys have seen like ultra-wide monitors when it comes to gaming, is so that your peripheral vision gets more information, but your height is static. And it's the same with filmmaking. It gives you like a wider, more like cinematic field of view, and the information that you get is... And we associate this when it comes to movies. Usually TV would be 16:9, and film would be this ratio. So it depends. Some people are really into it, and I personally am a fan as well. I think when you change the ratio to a wider view, it makes things more interesting. But you have to keep in mind when you're shooting something that you're gonna crop the height. So if you don't compose your shots correctly, you're gonna have a problem in post. I've actually been working on something right now that's gonna come up on next week, which has to do with the Skyline R34. And I did the same thing when shooting. I kept in mind that I'm gonna use the cinematic ratio for that project. And so when I went in post to crop in and widen the cinematic ratio, it worked because I shot this with that in mind. Again, guys, follow me on Insta for more like things like that. I love this. How sick is this, guys? We have the character kind of like charging for a more impactful scene. He has the cool sparks going in through the swords, which you can do with visual effects and After Effects. And then upon the impact of the thunder, they change the dynamic of the light, which is really sick. And then he cuts time itself, and time gets expanded. We've talked about this and how it should be used correctly. Slow motion basically is you want to expand a scene to emphasize the dramatic impact of that scene or the cool factor. You basically want an element, which maybe it can be a sick action move, it can be a dramatic kind of like move, it can be a dramatic death or like reaction to something. No matter what the element you're trying to expand in time, The reason why you would choose slow motion is to expand that element of it and put more emphasis on it by expanding the time itself. So here we have the cool droplets, music ramps up, we have the slow reaction to most things. That is... Like I said, I'm a big fan of anime. And this is a very classic thing that happens in anime, if you guys know, from like Bleach or any really like fight-based anime. When you have this super cool impact, punch, or sword impact, or you know, the guy goes in like Bankai mode and he just like pop, stop something. You have this very cool impact shockwave power thing that releases through that like impact thing, and it just like the whole ground goes like implodes, or like the air, the shockwave just like has that really cool, and I just love this. I really want to pull this off in a project coming up, so I'm really excited about it. So basically, you show the impact, and then you can either choose to do what they did here, which is basically have it on like ground level, but you know, a very wide shot by having them center, and then have the shockwave explode towards us. Or you can have a cool bird's eye view of the same shot, and then you can show it from on top, just everything going there, which is really sick. Now we have the second beat. Now we're gonna have a bit more of exchange before jumping into the next one.
I'm sorry.
I've actually did the same move. This is a very dramatic thing to do, guys. If you watch the Star Wars Duel of the Force, when me and the other guy exchanged lightsabers, and I got the lightsaber stuff and he got my saber, the dark saber, I chose to switch off one side because I'm a single blade fighting style of character, and I did the same thing, like this kind of like charging motion, bringing the blade next to your eye level before charging in. I just thought it was cool.
I will not fail you again.
So they choose to basically cut on action like we talked before, but they really choose to cut when the impact happens. Like impact, change a shot, impact, change a shot, charging shot. This kind of like, look how the sword is so extended to us, is actually a bit realistic, if I may say, because if you use a super wide angle lens and you put the sword tip next to the lens, it's gonna expand the whole sword in that perspective that we see here. So it's technically realistic, and you can kind of pull the same thing. It's almost as if you have your phone, guys, and you put it on wide angle mode, if your phone has a lens like that, and you put your hand next to your phone. Have you seen how your hand drastically extends? It's the same kind of effect, playing with the lenses and how they interact with space and how they change the plane depending on how wide or how telephoto they are. When it comes to fight scenes and let's say top cameras, now we're gonna get a bit technical. I'm a fan of wide angle because it tends to make things way more dramatic, because things in the frame move quite a lot and their perspective changes, but it can be overused a bit as well. So I think a nice blend between a mid and a wide is a good way to go. This is very interesting. So what they chose to do here, which took me a few moments to understand, because at first I was like, whoa, what happened? Something happened. So basically they used the eye and charging in of the character, and of course with the build-up of sound, take notice. And then they changed to this shot, which is the character kind of like waking up moment, as if he was remembering or he had a dream. But they use the eyes as the connecting tissue. What I would do, we talked about this before with flashbacks from World of Warcraft to anything else, is that I would use the same exact composition that were left off in the flashback to transition us to real time. Here they didn't do this, which works as well. But now they changed the art style to a more modern interpretation of animated drawing styles like anime, which is really interesting. I think, my thinking says that the reason why they did this is because current time is real time and it's modern, therefore the art style and the animation and the fluidity of everything and like how you have actual highlights and depth in the image itself is reflective that it's now, versus having the older style of animation and more like drawing style in the flashbacks reflects the past, which is kind of a cool thing to compare, right? Like current time, modern animation, flashbacks, which is the past, old style animation. I think that's why maybe that was the creative choice behind it, which I think is pretty sick. So character wakes up, he has the massive sword. I mean, Sephiroth is still bigger, but... And the sword now has actual reflectivity on it. Everyone's like, bro, chill down. Yeah, he was sleeping, I guess. I love this. I always love... Oh, man. I need to do this again with Ichigo's sword, for sure. Things to work on. So basically, I've done this before in the Soul Blade concept VFX art. And there's actually a tutorial of how to pull this off in real life with After Effects. Basically, you combine two shots together. It's on the channel, guys, if you're interested. I'm sure you're awesome and you can find it. So basically, what you do, this one, is a very dramatic scene that takes the character and reflects on itself using his weapon. As if, well, I'm sure you guys know, like, you know, in the past, your sword would be an extension of you. And you would take care of it, and it's like the extension of what you use to fight and things like that. So using its own reflection to reflect on yourself is a very dramatic and cinematic way of giving the audience the feeling and what the character kind of goes through. And I think it's a really cool shot, so I'm really pumped that I said it, because it reminded me when I did it back in the day, which was pretty cool. So now the character kind of looks on himself, but it's really cool because you look at the reflection in your sword that is used to take life, and in this case took his brother's life. Pretty cool. A little buzz rising up and cutting down. This is a very common thing, by the way, guys. If you want to cut and you don't have a connecting timeline between shots, and I did this in the R34 project that's coming up as well, it's not a big deal to cut to black. If you have a reason to cut and you don't have a connecting theme between two shots, you can cut to black using cool sound design and like a move or like something that's rising up. Let's say you doing something or pressing something or getting ready like this with a sword or something. It's totally cool to just break on black, and then using sound to transition, you'll open up to a completely different shot or whatever it is. Very beautiful. We have the cool sunset again. Very nice colors as well.
Apologies, Opa. I didn't mean...
Now this guy comes up and he tells him about the path and where he should go and stuff, which is pretty basic conversation things. And the character is like, okay, I guess I'm gonna try this. And then we transition to a cool dark forest.
It's taken years for the spirit blossoms to return.
A very cool contrast, by the way. The other kind of like village side of things with the sun was very warm toned. We have very cool orange tones as well as purple because sunset, and then we transition to the forest. Is actually a very nice contrast of color that we talked about a lot, and it has very nice blues, teals and things like that. More cold
If
tones.
the land is ready to heal.
And this is the way?
So we have the cool flowers and stuff. Now we're introduced that maybe this guy is not the best, because at first I was like, oh, he's like an old kind of like older kind of dude that has some stuff to say. But now we're introduced that, wait, is this like a trap? What's going on? Like, is everything okay?
Old men, flowers, and hope. Maybe.
So then he's gonna go in the river to
Let
kind of
the
like
waters cleanse you.
cleanse you.
Let the currents take this.
It really does remind me of FF7 when Cloud... Okay, spoiler alerts. If you guys haven't played FF7 and you're playing the remake and you're waiting for part 2, hot stick by the way. You know when Cloud was in the river and did this with that person and the river and things like that? That's what it reminded me. Very cool shot under the water. Now we transition back to flashbacks again, and the animation turns to the old style.
Go, Yone! I was winning!
And look how, when you do animation, we've talked about this in the Annie cinematic and other things. The older style is more hand-drawn. You cut frames, you don't have that fluid motion that CGI animation has, but it still works because it's drawing style and it doesn't get you out of it. But you can tell a very significant change between the fluidity of motion of what is portrayed between the old style and the new.
Did you see me take out that big one?
Now we're introduced more to the connection between the brothers. We have the older brother and the younger brother. The younger brother really wants to prove to his older brother that he's as strong, or you know that. But in doing so, he kind of like misses the point and the wisdom of things.
I saw you dishonor yourself.
And the older brother also is a bit too uptight, let's say. He kind of reminds me of Kuchiki Byakuya versus like Rukia, and how he was like, honor, family, no. And it goes like, bruh, you're stupid.
You don't have anything to prove.
Another interesting, I mean, the older brother is taller, but we've talked about this again, kind of like the perspective of us, the viewer, siding with the older brother and looking down at the younger brother as if we're in control and we're in power, and they're not.
There is always another fight, Yasuo. Finding
Yasuo.
it proves nothing.
Yasuo and Yuno? Sweet. Oh, I didn't notice this, guys. Look, 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 look. Come on, go back. This is where they fought at the beginning, but at the beginning it was all stingy, grungy, and like the land was dead. There was no river, no flowers, because you can tell by those two towers things that were at the beginning as well. So in the past it was very pretty, very lively, and then they fought on the same spot. That is sick. I did not catch that first time. Very dramatic. So we carry on when they're. So they showed us how the relation was when they were young, and they showed us how the relation was when they were a bit older, and how that rift, kind of like different mindset, just keeps splitting apart.
Me for this.
Sweet. Beautiful, by the way.
I
Beautiful
won't
art.
fail you.
I've already failed you. Dramatic.
Drink this.
We cut back to real time, and the animation is pumped up as well, and the fluidity of motion. And now we're gonna get down to the fight.
Looking for Adi.
So basically, he's kind of drinking some form of hallucinogenic. How's it called, man? Anyways, you guys know what I'm saying. And then the bad guy is the bad guy indeed. It's so sick how we transition back to he indeed got to him.
And sometimes they find
Creepy AF. That is sick. So the, I don't know, ghost form, soul form of the brother still being around comes in to play. He's more like supernatural now, obviously. I'm not sure why he chose to protect the monster, since he is a monster. Because at first I was like, are they fighting between each other? Are they fighting between each other? Why are they both not fighting him? Sick. We have very Japanese kind of like inspired like sounds and soundtracks, which makes sense. I mean, samurai.
Show yourself.
Sick.
I'm not here for you.
Boy. It's funny because they're brothers. They have kind of like similar powers, like control of the wind and the blades and stuff. How sick is that?
Killing me does nothing, Hunter. If he lives, I will return.
Oh. Yes. Oh no, what happened? Where did I press? Oh, come on, Chris. They did the same thing with the shockwave again.
What a disappointment.
Living without it.
It is paced so well, mate. That is the thing, like, making something in a film media form takes so much different talent from the original concept, from the art of the concept, from getting everything together, and in this case animating it with like motion capture, voice acting, all these things, then putting it to editing, then having soundtracks and sound design and visual effects design. There are so many aspects that go into. It doesn't matter if it's a 1 minute short, 30 seconds, 10 minutes, 50 minutes, full-time feature film. There's so much talent and different aspects that all come together to create a uniform of a medium. And pacing is also an insanely important factor. How do you pace something? Because we actually have a ton of things going on for 10 minutes. We have past timeline, current timeline, fight. The fight is not just between two people, it's between three, and their interactions between them during the fight, as well as going through the flashbacks and continuing that thread of storyline that they introduced at the beginning and interchanging between the two. It's actually really impressive and commendable how well this is paced. Sick. Pop. Kind of the brother having a lot of like having to deal with a lot of what happened between him and his brother, and now kind of finding solace and finding himself and basically being like, okay,
I'm done running.
I'm done running. So now it's very cool because you connect the progression of the character with the fight itself, and both coming into the equilibrium and having the final move, as well as the character finally making the decision that he needs to or something. I love his design. Come on. I love this. It still reminds me of the Cloud's Overdrive with the Buster, so that he just goes. Sick. Oh my god, that's sick. How sick was that? Sick! So we have the final interaction.
Have your revenge, brother.
Which is funny, because if you remember Overwatch, what was it, Hanzo and Dragon Cinematic? It was between brothers again. There's just something there. Like, things are a bit cliche, but they're just so good that we just can't get enough of. Like, again, it's between two brothers. In Overwatch, Hanzo kind of like did the same thing to his brother, and then he was in, distress for a long time because of that, and kind of like having that past haunt him, which is the same as this one, and then the brother kind of comes back. They have kind of like a cool fight interaction thing, and then finally the character goes like, I deserve this, and the brother is like, you still have much,
You might deserve death,
very dramatic,
but not by my hand.
sick. He becomes particles, of
Even
course.
the wind has a path, brother.
That is very deep because he controls the wind. That is sick. So we have that kind of thing, and the brother kind of overlooking And then we cut, and then we have a bit of a tease
Kiss.
with what comes next. Freaking sick. As you guys told me, okay, first of all, we need to like this. Sick. Second of all, as you guys told me, in League of Legends, there's S rank, not just A, because in the first one, I said, oh man, grade A, and then you were like, grade A? What do you mean? Why not S? And I was like, oh, there's S ranking. Okay, so this one and the other one's S rank. Sick! Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Filmmaker Reacts. There are a ton more in the channel, so make sure to check them out. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe for what comes next, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, stay creative and awesome.